So there are two pages we're going to be focusing on now. There are a few little notes that I would want you to make. First off, for problem number 1, the rule that you can use is b minus a and a minus b are actually opposites. And we can always cancel that out as long as we leave a negative 1 behind. Now, for addition, they just have to be perfect matches. But for subtraction, if they are turned, you have to leave a negative 1. Now, you got to remember some of the factoring rules in this lesson. So this is 3 plus x and 3 minus x. And this is an example of an addition that is turned. They are perfect matches. Just cross those out. And you're left with 3 minus x. Now, one of the things I've noticed is they didn't leave any of your x's negative, so you can pull out a negative 1 as long as you turn the subtraction. And that's kind of why this does what it does. And then the rest of them, just get them in factored form, and then try to reduce them as much as possible. So let's do number 3 together. First thing you're going to check for is any greatest common factors. So that top thing is divisible by 4. So divide everything through by 4. Okay. The bottom is divisible by 2. Divide everything through by 2. Now, you always check to see if your parentheses can reduce again. So that would be x plus 4. I'm sorry, we want the 7 to be positive and the 4 to be negative. In the bottom, that is going to be x plus 5 and x minus 4. You'll notice we have an x minus 4. The larger factor here is in the top, so 2 goes into 4 and leaves a 2 behind. So that is u. So number 3 is u, so just go down to the bottom where you see number 3 and put a u. So please make sure you're showing your work. Now let's talk about multiplying and dividing things like this. Let's do number 5. So we still will benefit if we put everything into factored form. So you'll notice here that all of this is divisible by 2. And I'm going to write this as 2 factors just so I can see everything. The top is not factorable, so we're going to try to do one of those. The bottom, they are all divisible by 8. Oh, nope, they're only divisible by 4. Now, the division, my suggestion would be to flip it upside down. Now, the bottom, excuse me, let's take out a negative 15. Just because, again, they haven't seemed to leave any of their x's negative. So this, I've just taken out a negative 15. Now, let's talk about the pieces that need factored. This piece here, there is a way that we can factor that. So let's do that. There is a way, I believe, that you can factor that one. Okay. Now, it's going to require that we do a little slide and divide maneuver if you like that thing. So this one here, if we do x squared minus 13x minus 48, 48 is 6 times 8, but it doesn't add up to 13. It's close, but not quite there. It is going to be 3 and 16 because we have to subtract those. Sorry about that. So that'd be x minus 16 and x plus 3. Now we slid over 4. Now we have to divide by 4. If it doesn't divide by 4, put it on the x. If it does divide by 4, divide it. So that piece there is going to be x minus 4 and 4x plus 3. Okay, now let's talk about that piece. If we slid that over, I'm going to do it over here. We still have the 4, but I'm just focusing on this. Slide the 20 over, multiply by what's there. Now, what are the factors of 120 that have a subtraction or difference of 7? Well, I just start with the basics I see. 20 and 6 made it, but that subtracts to give you 14. 10 and 12 subtracts to give you 2. 5 and 24 subtracts to give us 19. I'm sorry. We could probably, 15 goes into there. $120 divided by 15 is 8. 15 and 8 have a difference of 7. So we're going to make that x plus 15, x minus 8. Now we slid over 20. Reduce that as much as you can before you decide what has to go on the x. So those are both divisible by 5. So let's reduce it to 3/4. These are both divisible by 4. So let's reduce it to 2/5. And then we stick it back on. So that's 4x plus 3 and 5x minus 2. So that's going to go where the 20, oh, here. So 4x plus 3 and 5x minus 2. Okay, we're getting there. Now let's talk about this one. 5x squared minus 22 plus 8. Let's slide the 5 over. That would be x squared minus 22x plus 40. We need the factors of 40 that add up to 22. So let's see, what do we got? We got 20 and 2. 20 and 2, there we go. And so that would be x minus 20 and x minus 2, but we slid over a 5. Now this one is divisible by 5. This one is not, so just stick the 5 on the x. That goes here. Well, I should put it down here, I guess. So let's look what we got. Last one left to factor is this one. Okay, so if we slid over the 9, we'd get a 3. We'd have to put it back. Just trust me, it'd be 3x minus 1 and 3x minus 1. Okay, so now we're going to focus on everything we got left right there. Okay, so any factor on top can be crossed out with a factor on the bottom. So I see a 3x minus 1 and a 3x minus 1. I see an x minus 4 and an x minus 4. I see a 4x plus 3 and a 4x plus 3. I see there a 5x minus 2 and a 5x minus 2. I see another x minus 4. So everything has been canceled except that 3x minus 4. And then our 2 and our 4 can leave me a 2 down there. But there's a 15 down there. So I believe our final answer would be 3x minus 1 over negative 15 times 2, which is negative 30. Put your negative out in front. Let's see how they wrote it. Yeah, so that would be M. So number 5 is an M. Okay, so there's that. Make sure you try to get this done by the end of the class period. There you go.